Danny, to your team.
Now we're talking about an NFC powerhouse.
Okay, let's get into it.
Well, I mean, they had all this cap space. They had the third most cap position of any team in the league, and the moves that they made were seemingly like they were, secondary or tertiary players. Kevin Byard, free safety. DeAndre Swift, running back. Trade for Ryan Bates, sixth offensive lineman, maybe potential starter. Simone Biles' husband. It was like, what are they waiting for? What are they going to use the money on? They need to upgrade. They needed edge rusher. People thought Danielle Hunter. They still could use an elite three tech. I was thinking Christian Wilkins was a possibility. But it's why you got to be patient, and you got to not only know your own roster, but you got to know the rest of the league. A fourth round pick for 1 year of Keenan Allen, who, yes, will be 32 by the time the season starts, and he missed 4 games this past year. In the 13 games that he played, he was simply excellent. He's a 6-time Pro Bowler, and now that offense with DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Cole Kmet, a soon-to-be significant upgrade at quarterback with Caleb Williams, and whatever they choose to do with the 9th pick, whether it is an edge rusher, whether it's trade down a little bit and target Brock Bowers, or if Odunze or somehow Malik Neighbors falls, truly investing and turning them into arguably the best receiving core in the league if you add a first-round pick receiver at 9. The Bears are stacked to have the best offense that they've had in my lifetime.
So, did you think you made a face, Tony?
Well, you just don't see teams who are going to start a rookie quarterback make 1 year, short-term, invest in this moment, the right now, moves like this.
Well, do you think the investment is more the money or the draft pick they gave up?
No, I'm saying you're making a deal for Keenan Allen with no expectation or guarantee that he's going to be with you beyond Caleb Williams' first rookie year.
But we don't know yet. Like they could rework the contract and sign him to an extension to lower the cap hit for this year.
Maybe. I think that would be a mistake. I think that so I agree with a lot of Danny's optimism on the Bears. A lot of it. I think that division, while the Packers are good and the Lions are very good, the division doesn't have, in my opinion, a juggernaut. The NFC obviously is the weaker of the two conferences, and the Bears won 7 games last year. People have to be reminded constantly they have the number 1 pick because Carolina was terrible, not because they were terrible. Where the trepidation comes in is the exercise we did yesterday, around midnight when we got back to my house, which was 32-year-old receivers in the league last year. I just threw it out there, and I said, how many do we think had 500 yards? And the answer to that question ended up being Adam Thielen, who had 1,000 yards, and that's it. The 32-plus-year-old receivers last year were the following people. Marquise Goodwin, 67 yards. Marvin Jones, 35 yards. Randall Cobb, 39 yards. Adam Thielen, who I mentioned. Julio Jones, 74 yards. And that's the list. And so the concern is that, you know what I mean? That position, that age, what is he going to have left? I don't mind, but I say all that to say this, because it's not an extension. If they give him an extension or rework the deal, I will feel differently. Andrew, for 1 year, I don't mind it, and to support Caleb as much as possible and give him the best chance
I'm just
to hit.
surprised that a team that isn't closer to winning didn't try to make a 1 year deal work with Allen. That's all.
But it takes a unique set of circumstances.
Because of his cap hit.
You got to have the cap space. The Chargers asked him to restructure the money down to help them out. He said no. They traded him. And so I'm with you on the 32-year-old thing, just real quick. 1,200 yards, 108 catches, and 7 touchdowns in 13 games.
I think his style of play ages well. He's not a guy that, to me, is like he needs to be a physical freak or, speed merchant in order to make plays.
No, he's a technician.
Right.
He oddly has like some Travis Kelce similarities to him, and Kelce is 34 and had almost 1,000.
To me, he's like a souped-up version of Keenan McCardell, who played into his 30s and had that same style of play. Let me ask you this, though. You said that this is a unique situation. The ceiling for rookie quarterback situations in terms of how far you can go with them would be a championship game, right? Conference championship game. Joe Flacco, Baltimore, Sanchez, New York, Purdy, San Francisco. How far away you say this is unbelievable. A rookie quarterback is not. Do you think that that's actually in?
I don't see why not. I honestly I don't see why not. Why couldn't the Bears win 11 games this year?
So I think winning 11 games is probably more likely than being in the NFC title game. But right now, this moment, if you said all the outcomes are available, pick the one that you think is most likely. I think the most likely outcome is a wild card berth and a loss in round one.
Great season.
Which would be a great season. It would feel better, I think, tell me if I'm wrong, Danny, than this when you had that with Mitch Trubisky or when you had that previously, because it would feel like because of the quarterback, that is something to truly build on.
Correct.
So I guess what I just described there is what Houston just had with CJ. I think that is a realistic expectation for the Chicago Bears this year.
Well, and I mean the Bears defense is good.
I think you overstate how good it is.
Okay, they got better as the year went on, as they got healthier. They have an elite player at all three levels of the defense. They've got a lot of young talent. They got Jalen Johnson, all-pro corner. They have Tremaine Edmonds, who's one of the best coverage linebackers in the NFL. And they have Montez Sweat.
I think calling Montez and Tremaine elite lowers the bar for elite for
They're
me.
getting paid like they're elite.
I don't know that Montez is getting paid like he's elite.
Yes, he
He's
is.
getting paid.
He got a big contract.
Well, what's the contract? Because I think he's getting paid like he's the 10th best guy, which is
So that's a tier down from elite then.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Okay.
They have a very good upper echelon player at all three levels of the defense. Plus
4 for 98.
If I were in your shoes, I would just be incensed that they prioritized carrying momentum over with the defense instead of let's get a head coach in here who's going to optimize.
That's almost a different discussion.
It is a different discussion. It was a fork in the road.
I don't
moment.
actually think it is though. Because if we're talking about what they can do this year, obviously a lot of it is, can Caleb Williams have a season that's similar to what C.J. Stroud had last year? And I think without that coaching infrastructure, I have doubts about that happening right off the bat.
But nobody would have
right
said
from the very beginning.
Nobody would have said that Bobby Slowick was going to be the key to unlocking C.J. Stroud last year. He's special.
So, yeah, no, and listen, slowly, and tell the audience who the Bears' new offensive coordinator is.
Shane Waldron, the guy from Seattle who helped Geno Smith have the breakout season 2 years ago.
So the reason I mentioned that is Slowick was a total unknown, which to me allows for maybe a little more upside.
Look at the coaching tree he came from. Right?
Well, and just because we have seen Shane Waldron be, and now the higher floor as well than a guy that's total unknown. But listen, if we're going to do every team, for free agency, we've done 20 minutes, we've done 2 teams, which means right now we're on pace for a 10-hour pod, and that's not going to work. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to get more from the show, and make sure to click the bell to get notified every time new content drops. Check out full episodes of What's Right wherever you get your podcasts, or just click the link in the description below.